Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video today, I'll be reading Treasure Island Chapter 1. So this is a very old book. I just found it in my room. And let's just start reading Chapter 1. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment. That'll give me a lot of support, and sorry for not uploading in the last couple of days. I was just like distressed because yesterday I was trying to make Super Mario Odyssey, but I was dying way too much, so I just deleted it. Yep. Chapter 1: The Old Sea Dog at the Admiral Benbow. A great number of people have asked me to write down the whole story of Treasure Island, and that I shall do. But I will leave out the location of the island, because the treasure is still out there. The story begins back when my father was running an inn called the Admiral Benbow. The night was bitter, and we could hear a howling. Went outside, when the old seaman with a scared face first made his way through our door, and he blew a strange sight of his sea chest, being dragged behind him in a wheelbarrow. He was strong and tall, with nut-brown skin and a blackened pigtail hanging over a dirty blue coat. In fact, everything about him looked dirty, including his hands and nails. The witness of the scar that spread across his cheek stood out against the grimy skin. He whistled and sang a song I would hear many times. 15 men on a dead man's chest. Yo ho ho! A bottle of rum. After the man rapped his heavy stick on the floor, my father appeared. Our guest seemed not to notice him at first. So busy he was looking around our inn. A handy cove, he said, a confident too. Been busy lately, have you? No, my father answered, and that was the truth. Business had been slow. Well then, he said, this fine place will do for me. Typo. Here's the picture. There you go. Hey, you there, he said to the man who pushing the barrow. I want some help getting my chest upstairs. I'll stay down here a bit, he went off the gruff tone. I'm a plain man. Bacon and eggs is what I want. And that view up there to watch for ships, you'll call me captain. He knows my father's down looking and threw down some gold coins, which he taken from out his leather pouch. You let me know, he said furiously. I'm sorry if I can't say it right. When I've worked through that, there's more with that came from. No, he looked shabby in his manners were coarse. He seemed I can't speak today. He seemed used to being obeyed. The man who carried his things told us he had just come into the port that morning, and that he had asked for a quiet inn along the coast. That was all we could learn about our mysterious guest. He was a silent man who spent his days upon the cliffs, looking through a shiny brass telescope. Out across the horizon, a knight, he said, would sit by the fire in our He would often not speak when spoken to, and just as sudden would blow his nose like a foghorn. Our guests kept their distance from him, as I did and my father did. After his evening stroll, he would ask whenever any sailors had come along the road. At first we thought he was lonely, but soon realized that he was hiding from someone. When a seaman did come by, he would watch through the curtains and be silent as a mouse. He started to take me into his confidence. One day he promised me a silver fourpenny a mouse. Oh, come on, birds, please be quiet. He promised if I would watch with my weather eye for a one-legged sailor and let him know if he appeared. He would sometimes growl when I asked for payment, but he soon gave in, knowing it was more important that I keep a lookout for him than I to hold my pay. Keep a sharp lookout, he repeated for one-legged man. This one-legged mystery man haunted my dreams, and on stormy nights I would see him take shape in a nightmare, with his leg off at the knee, then a hip as a monster with a leg in the middle of his body. He ran through my dreams, chasing me over fences and across fields. I was paying dearly for helping him. And no, I feared this man. I was less afraid of the captain than most. The crowd as he sang his wicked, wild sea song on stormy nights. He would tell terrible stories and urge us all to sing his chorus of yo-ho-ho in the bottom of the rum. The guests are joining for fear of their lives. He glared and slapping his hand on the table, flying into rages, whenever the mood was upon him. None daring leave the table until he finished his singing and storytelling and had reeled off to sleep. And they were truly scared stories, dreadful of tales hanging plank, walking the stores and storms at sea. He died in telling us that where had he lived. Among the wickedest men who ever called themselves sailors, and his rough language shocked us as much as crimes. My father thought the inn would be ruined. People would say that they brought the newcomers in and afraid at their first and soon young man Sea Dog in the old salt and claimed smart men who made our nations show represent for us to see. But he stayed on long after his money had been spent and started to bother us. Wait, what was I? Oh yeah, now he's bothering us. My father just never enough courage to insect on us more. If he mentioned it, the captain roared at him and started my father down until he left the room. I'm sure that one reason my father became so ill, the captain never changed his clothes. When he had fired, he threw it into the sea. He repaired his own coat, and by the end of his stay, it was nothing but patches. He had no visitors, neither wrote nor received any letters, and spoke to the neighbors only when he was bored. None of us ever saw the great sea chest when it was opened. He was only challenged once, when Dr. Livesey came to check on my poor father during a break. The doctor was having his dinner and speaking to another guest. In the plyer, while he was waiting for his horse, I followed him down compared his neat appearance with that of the captain. Captain, his coat seems to be so clean, his manner so bright next to a filthy old pirate. Suddenly the captain struck on his old son. 50 men on dead man's chest. Yo-ho-ho, a bottle of rum. Drinking devil had never been the rest. Yo-ho-ho, a bottle of rum. I thought his chest was referring to his sea chest and got tangled in my dreams with the terrible one-legged monster of a man. But by now we had all stopped paying attention to that song. It was never Dr. Livesey who looked quite angry at the captain before going on with us in the conversation. Soon the captain waved his hand for silence, and we all stopped talking, except for the good doctor. When he spoke, very loud and clear, the captain glared at him. He commanded, "Silence, Briasco Deck." Dr. Livesey turned to him and said one thing. I have never found the need to listen to scoundrels, and I certainly shall not make expansions tonight. Then the captain jumped on awful temper and flipped open his knife, threatening to stab the doctor. Dr. Livesey stood stock and spoke in the same voice, loudly saying, If you do it, put that knife away. I shall see you hang. They glared at each other with terrible eyes, but the captain soon folded and sat, growling like an old dog. But the doctor was not finished. Now that I know your kind is in my district, know also that I have my eye on you. I'm not only a doctor, I'm also a judge. Let me hear one word of complaint against you, and I shall have hunted down and driven out of town. Let me be warning enough to you. The doctor's horse soon came by, and he rode away. But the captain held his peace that evening, and many more to come. So that was chapter 1 of Treasure Island. I hope you enjoyed. If you do, like and subscribe and put on a comment. And thank you for watching.